Hi everyone, welcome back. Still freezing outside, but today we're a redneck assembly line. If you're new to the channel or a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I don't know what this, there we go. Tell your friends if you think they'd be interested in a lot of racing content. I typically try to do as much as possible, but most of it is just me kind of floundering in the garage, trying to not only learn things, but teach things. And sometimes both at the same time. That's just how it goes. At either rate, you noticed a whole bunch of shiny stuff on the floor. Well, we're gonna tackle something that's kind of been weighing on my mind as to what to do with, and I think I came up with a decent plan for it, and I think we're going to tackle that today. With this shiny bit of metal down here, what we are tackling is this. I do not like this door bar setup. Number one, it's too heavy. Number two, it's poorly designed. And number three, it's ugly. So what I've done is probably the wrong thing. I bought some steel, and I didn't pay a lot, which is nice, but obviously it's not what you would call structural by any means. This is all material I bought from Home Depot. This is obviously electrical conduit. It's not very heavy gauge. It's very kind of thin wall stuff. It's like 043, I think. It's very thin. Right? So you might think, well, it's going to be too flimsy, right? Well, it might be. I don't really know. I should have probably bought, I don't know, 3/4 inch instead of the 1/2 inch stuff. I don't know. I don't really know. One thing I know for sure is I don't like this type of setup. And I've showed you why in other videos. Again, number one, this big 2x2 frame here, or 1.5 by 1.5, I think. Yeah, I think that's 1.5 by 1.5. Far too heavy. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bent. Somebody got in the wall a little bit, but if you look down the chassis, the upright here is still straight. That's what we want. All the uprights are still straight. This is really boogery. It's just a flat plate that somebody boogered together and hacked up and threw on. I don't have any clue what these went to at one point in life, but I think we're just going to leave those. Something else used to live here. It got hacked off by somebody and then not ground off. Kind of a pet peeve of mine. Why not clean it up? Then we got these outriggers down here that I don't know what the hell they go to. There's something here. I don't know what that is, but there's also a self-tapping screw there. I genuinely hope that's not lead. So I'll probably be investigating that at some point in its life. But at either rate, I'm going to set up some kind of a rednecky ghetto trash fixture. And I'm going to clean all this stuff up first, obviously. Everything is going on time lapse this week. But I'm going to create tabs I'm going to weld onto the chassis here and here. And then maybe one in the middle on the frame rail, and then two more over there. Maybe another one over here somewhere. I'm not really sure yet. But we're going to make bolt-on Nerf bars for the right side of this car. Why bolt-on stuff, you ask? Well, because if you bend one up, which I'm probably going to do if I end up racing this car, I'm not very gentle on equipment. So I usually race by braille, and I usually feel out how far away I am from the wall by hitting it. So, I mean, there's no other way to know, right? So I want to put something on the car that will bend, flex, crush before anything major on the car does. You know, I'm thinking, yeah, I probably bought something a little too thin with that 1/2 inch stuff. I might go get some 3/4. I don't really know at this point, to be honest with you, but I think it might be okay for now because I'm going to have it triangulated so that it's going to share a lot of the load. I don't know, but again, it's worth a try. Anything's worth a try. I just don't want it to be so stiff as it is now that it dents the cage in if I hit the wall. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This one got lucky because this dented, like this tubing bent. But the problem with that is, you see how this chassis is set up? There's a centerpiece here that goes all the way across, but there's nothing back here that goes all the way across. So if you got something really stiff, this might not dent the cage, but it could pooch in the chassis, and I don't want that to happen. This is a straight bar welded directly to the cage, so if you smash into the wall, where do you think this bar is going to go? Right, it's going to go into the main hoop of the chassis, and it's going to compromise it right here. Yeah, there's another bar tying it in, but that doesn't mean you can just stick something there and if it gets smashed in, it's just going to be fine. It's not. So what I'm going to do, like I said, tab here, tab down here somewhere, triangulated to a singular bar here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this jack post yet. I might just integrate the jack post into the door bar assembly that I'm going to build. Not quite sure yet, but for now, I think I might leave it just because it's actually pretty decent. It is a little bit short though. I'm going to look underneath it and see if this spot here has a provision so I can put a bolt on it and like adjust the height. Not quite sure yet, but if it's not tall enough, I'll probably do something to it, make it off of the post. I'm not sure yet. So that's the plan, and that's why I'm doing it. We got 1.5" tubing and we got 1/2" tubing. Again, this is probably going to be trial and error. But you can buy all this stuff at Home Depot. All this tubing was $100. And you can literally walk in. It's cut to 10-foot lengths. You can just throw it on a trolley. I even went through self-checkout. The guy just went, "Oh, I'll help you out." And he just beeped all of it for me, and I walked out the door in 10 minutes. It was so easy. So we'll try it the way it is. And if I don't like it, we'll go and we'll build new ones based off of bigger tubing. I don't know. I have never done this before. So I'm not doing this based off of experience of building these types of cars, because I never have. What I am doing is I'm doing this based off of an educated guess, kind of like I am everything else. So I know how to fabricate, maybe. I know how to build things, maybe. And we're going to try doing this. I'm going to show you a fixture that I'm going to create and base all of this off of. And then that's how we're going to build everything. But first, I think we got to clean this thing up first. Actually, no. I have to set the fixture up first because I don't want it to be too wide. And then we can start cleaning this off. Here it is. My very high-tech and sophisticated jig, fixture, whatever you want to call it. Basically, I just measured where the other door bar was and how long it was. I think it's 5 feet. And I'm just going to, I actually don't think 5 feet is really, I don't know if that's too long or not, but I know the front edge of these things typically are fairly long, but I'm not really sure how I want to, if I want to put another tab there and brace out to it or not. I'm not really sure yet. I'll figure it out, but I think 5 feet would probably be a decent start because I was going to cut them to 4.5, but then I'm like, well, you'll have excess. These are 10 feet bars. If you cut it right in the middle, then you don't have to worry about math. But anyway, I got these jack stands here with rounded cups in them, and I measured to the flat plate of it. I know it's super high tech, right? From the outside of the chassis out to that, and then I measured up from the floor to make sure they were the same height. and I measured the car to see if that was the same height, and good enough. So I'm going to take the bar out of here because I got to cut it, but I also have to get in here and hack off all of this crap. Again, I don't really know what to do with that bar. Still not really sure, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Maybe someday I'll remember to put a dust mask on, but I figure after 23 years, it's probably not going to happen. Nope, wait. 24 years, it's probably not going to happen. So, this is all cleaned off now, finally. There was so much stuff welded to it, it wasn't even funny. I think somebody even burned through over here because I put a screwdriver through this hole. So I'm going to be inspecting that, welding, grinding, making sure I re-add metal back to that place so there's not a weak spot. Again, I'm just kind of figuring out what exactly I want to do here, but we'll get there. Prefab update. I got some poor excuse for some tabs cut out. I'm going to put the main ones on. I've already got where I want the tabs measured. I'm going to put one down on the frame down here. One 11 inches up, so it's just got a little bit of angle. Not too much, not straight in. Just like a little bit of angle. Got the same number measured on this side. I'm going to put one on the ground there. I'll put the main ones to this pipe first. And then after that, we'll figure out what exactly I want to do for this jack post, because I don't want it to interfere with the body. I don't have the body on the car. I'm sure it's, pretty flat, straight up and down. And I could put, a pipe down to where it would be on, even with the bottom part of the frame rail, which wouldn't be too difficult. And then put, a tab on the chassis, kind of like so, like right up against it, so that I could put another rod bracing the jack post to the back, or back to the car. So I got one down, one down, one down, one down, one kind of crossways to hold it from like going back and forth. Well, I figured to heck with it. I'll just put one on there. Anyway, don't be afraid of this galvanized stuff. All you gotta do is polish the coating off and it becomes steel again, so not a huge deal. See, this was like one rotation with the abrasive wheel here. Took the coating right off. Literally, like I said, it's steel again. You don't have to worry about them galvanized welding fumes or any of that stuff, so don't worry about it. All right, I know I haven't been putting the camera in the time-lapse position, but I'm out of batteries. All my GoPros are inside charging. I'm using my phone right now. It's only at like very minimal percentage, but you can see the concept here. This is only 2 of like 5 that I have to do, but we got to cut this bar out. I forgot to do that, but luckily we can unbolt it. So it's coming along. It's, pretty flimsy because it's only held on by 2 little wimpy things here. In all honesty, I was thinking I'm probably going to end up making like 3 of these, just because. Obviously, the design is going to change as I see fit. Pinching these to make them fit onto a bracket leaves a wiggly spot, so I'm thinking I might possibly add like another tab over, I don't know, over here or something, and that could triangulate it just to hold it in place instead of it wiggling around. I know I'm going to put 1 in and tie that in. Maybe I'll put 2 in. I don't know, because I bought a whole heck of a lot of 1/2 inch. Like I bought, I don't know, 60 feet of it. So I probably have plenty to build it better. So I think we're probably going to end up doing that, just because this stuff will crumple, it will collapse. There's no question about that. My question is it going to crumple too easily? So we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. A lot of things make me question my decision making in life. One of them is cutting through this pipe that doesn't connect to anything, has no holes in it, and yet it's full of water. What is happening? All right, so I've run out of time for tonight. It's too late. I got to go to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow. But check out the progress. It's fully bolted in. See? It fits really well, too. Like, I can get the bolts in pretty easy with really very little finagling. I've replaced the jack post with this. This is more of a kind of a Howe type design, but then again, you got a Howe clip on the car. I just looked at what they did and copied it. We still have to do some diagonal ones so that the thing doesn't just go straight backwards and kill the tire. And I still got to put one from down there into the frame so that the jack post actually, I don't know, works. And then we do it 2 more times. But hopefully by then, we will have plenty of time to do it, because most of this was planning and putting the tabs on and cutting the tabs and doing all that stuff. So I don't think we're in too bad a shape, to be fair. We just got to execute now. So I've learned a lot in the process. So we've got the jack stands. We got to just set the height on those and reset and go again. So I think I have plenty of material to make 3 of them. Looks like 3. And I've got so much 1/2-inch material. I used half a stick of 1, and I bought 6. I'll find use for it. It's small stuff. It's pretty lightweight. I could probably make body mounts with it, because if you take it and you stick it in a vise and just crank the vise, it pinches flat. I mean, you saw that with these tabs up here, if you can see that, because I don't know, I put the front-facing camera on. But like I said, there's a lot of design that still needs to go into it. You can't just make them straight, because they'll just swing right back if you slam into something. So I think diagonals, the jack post, we got to put the tab for the jack post on the frame as well. And then after that, it's rinse and repeat. Hopefully my GoPros will be charged by then, and you can actually watch this and watch the process. And I'll probably have at least a complete one in time lapse at some point. But until that happens, I'll see you then. It's the next day. It's actually a little later than I wanted to, because, well, to be honest, I actually got a little bit of a win. My old commute vehicle, I know this doesn't really pertain to the channel, but you have seen this car on here if you're a longtime viewer. My commute vehicle, which is a 2007 Ford Focus with 240,000 miles, has been throwing a bunch of check engine lights and codes and stuff lately, and really been kind of a pain to try to figure out and get it to work again. Well, I finally got it fixed, and it's finally running well, and it's like, it's a huge relief. But again, it's a little bit later than I really wanted to be out here, so I don't know how much I'm going to get done. Either way, we got to finish this door bar here, and then we have to go into mass production mode. And luckily, I got my GoPro charged, so now I can set up a nice time lapse that's going to be super long, and hopefully capture me at least making one more. I want to do at least one more by the end of tonight. I got about 3-4 hours before I got to go to sleep, and hopefully we can get that one done. So No time like the present, I suppose, because talking's not working. So got my makeshift table out. I really wish that I had just grabbed my welding table because that would have been a lot easier. But look, one complete door bar setup. I don't think any of this is hot, but it's also super lightweight. Like, check it out. It's like pretty dang light. So it just bolts onto the car like so. I'm doing this one-handed, so I don't know exactly, because I inside outed a few of these. Hey, look at that. Okay, it's a little tight, and that's the only thing holding it on right now, but look at that. So I just basically copied a design. I might even include the picture. No promises if I remember. That's done. I did it exactly to that design. I think it's an old Howe design, but they sell the kit for like 90 bucks. And all the materials that I got, like I said, are 100 bucks. And I can build like at least 3 of them. So I'm hoping it's not too weak. If you give it a boot from the outside, like if it was bolted in and I kicked it, it's actually pretty rigid. This hopefully will work. I got the tie-in bar in right there. Hopefully, and it's right down by the bolt too. So hopefully that'll hold it from swinging backwards if you clobber something. And hopefully all these ties will also hold it in as well. It does bolt in perfectly. I don't really have, I mean, the bolt holes are a little tight. I did go one size above, but that's like a fraction of an inch above 3/8, which is the size of the bolts I'm using. Actually, I don't think it's 3/8. I think it's 3/16. Yes, that's it. Either way, now I have to do this at least one more time. And I think that's all I'm going to have time for today. But I would like 2 more, but time will tell if I actually use them. What do you think? I'll be honest with you, that went together a lot faster when I knew what I was going to do. I did, if you see the state of the garage, because it is a lot more smoky in here than it really should be. I got the doors open and I taste weird things. I did not quite get all the material off because you can see I was doing it a little blind. Yeah. Next time I'll definitely be a lot more cautious. Like right here, I missed an edge, and so that caught, a little bit. And, just like little edges that I kept just missing. You know what I mean? This one's all right. But, I mean, it works, dude. It fits. It bolts right in. So that's my second one. I think right now I'm only going to make 2 because, I mean, how much do I intend on racing the car? I got one, then I got a spare. If I go through both of them, I shouldn't be racing this car because either I have terrible luck or I suck. But for now, I got to get out of here because, yeah, I didn't do a very good job grinding the coating off, and I taste things. So I think I'm going to go wash that down with some leftover mashed potatoes or whatever I find in the fridge. Kind of gross. But anyway, I'll leave you with me bolting one on just to show you the brand new one fitting, hopefully, properly. So there it is. There's the new one. Looks exactly like the old one, except I did mount it a little bit different. I didn't offset these on the tabs. I just put them straight onto the front side of the tabs on both front and rear, because I figured if you're going forward, it's going to want to go this way if you hit something. So, you know, I don't think it really matters. If you're going to rip it off, you're going to rip it off. So I was talking to my buddies, and I was asking them if, you know, if it's too lightweight or if it's too, you know, weak. And they're like, nah, all you got to do is make sure that the thing holds the body. And as long as you can jack it up, you're good. Well, she flexes a little bit, but you know what? That's jacked up. Let me try that again. Yeah, a little bit of flex, and it's jacking. Not bad. At least I know that if I crash into something or somebody smashes me, it'll flex before the chassis does. So that's pretty much all I needed to do. I decided that I will end up actually making a third one, just kind of as a template in case I run out of them, or if somebody buys the car, if they run out of them. So, you know, at least I'll have two and then a third if we really have a bad day. But I really got to get out of here because I still taste it and I don't like it. And I probably shortened my life by a lot, but at least I tried to grind it all off. I don't still smell it. I did, you know, when I first did it, but yeah, it's not advisable to use galvanized, but if you do, really make sure you get it off. Those little tiny spots that I just barely missed was enough to make it cancer causing. So it's the next day. I've decided what I'm gonna do to end the video finally. It's a little later than I wanted to because, well, as it's now the Christmas season, my life at work goes straight into the toilet. So to comfort myself for this time of year, I went and bought an entire large pepperoni pizza and ate pretty much all of it. So even though I'm supposed to be losing weight. Anyway, I am going to clean as much as I can up because, well, it's a disaster. I get out of here so late that I just get tired and don't put anything away. And what I gotta find is, I have to find the air blower because I gotta blow off the car, number one, and I don't know where it went, so I'm basically just kind of wandering around aimlessly. I might even get the vacuum out and just vacuum the floor instead of creating a bunch of dust, which I think I've poisoned myself enough this week with dust, so, and smoke, and toxins. But we gotta find the air blower, and then we can blow this thing off, clean it up, and I'm gonna pull the bars back off. I'm gonna hang them somewhere, I don't know, and I'm gonna try painting them. And I've got the heater going, which I've actually got both burners on this time, even though my garage is not insulated still. Some heat stays in, others just kind of go out through all the cracks in the walls and termite holes and whatever else I have going on. So anyway, I'm actually going to do something right for once and use primer. Will you believe that? I never use primer and all my paint jobs come out like garbage. So maybe I'll learn this time. Who knows? But either way, hey, I found the air blower. But now that I have that in my possession, I can actually go and clean the garage and clean the car off and watch everything fall over behind me. And we can get to painting as soon as this place warms up with the heater. I think it's only like 6 o'clock at night. I'm really full of pizza, and I hate myself. So, all right, let's start cleaning. All right, so it's mostly clean. It'll never be clean in here, but you know, race car shop. Heater's doing its job. It's really warming up in here well. I'm gonna be pretty comfortable painting soon, but I'm very curious to see how much these door bars that I've made weigh. And I've got this old shipping scale here that the wife will kill me if I ruin. And that turned on. All right, let's take this bar here, just one of them, and let's hold her upright. 8 pounds, 12.2 ounces. That's pretty awesome. This thing is only 8 pounds, 12 ounces. So I'm actually curious to see if the other one is any different or not. So what I'm gonna do is, why not weigh it? 8 pounds, 11.6. So that's really close. I mean, they're within a few ounces of each other. That's not bad. Oh wait, I found the difference. It's the stick. Enough. Anyway, I'm actually quite curious. Let's take the bar off. Oh, I guarantee you this bar that I took off, that was the one down the side, if you remember. I guarantee you this thing probably weighs a heck of a lot more than just the whole assembly. Not even the stuff that I cut off, but I mean the whole assembly. I guarantee you this is like much heavier. 10 pounds, 4 ounces. Oh, okay then. There it is. But look at that. Not only did we cut 2 pounds out of the whole right side door bars, we cut even more than that because all the metal that I'd cut off is not even with this bar, and these are still lighter. So we shaved probably 2 to 5 pounds. Well, 2 to 4, let's be honest. We shaved a few pounds, and they're a much better design because now they're bolt-on. So now let's get to priming, painting, and getting this thing finalized so that I can bolt it together and leave it together. It's a little too cold to get the primer to dry right now because just cold and paint doesn't work. I used a cheap Rust-Oleum or some spray paint to get those door bars done, and they came out whatever. I'm just gonna smash them anyway probably, but I gotta wait for that. I'm trying to put paint to it, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty gross, so it's probably not gonna go very well. But I just took my mask off and it reeks in here, so I'm gonna get out of here. But there's that video for you. I hope that was a little bit interesting or informative in any way. But 3 straight days of poisoning myself, I'm over it. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so that I can actually justify sucking toxic fumes constantly for not only my own amusement but your enjoyment maybe. If you know anybody who would like this sort of thing, please tell your friends. I promise it'll be painted by the time you come back, but again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Past 1,000 subscribers, I actually get like maybe some ad revenue, pennies from Google. I'm trying to at least pay for a tire. Maybe someday, I don't know. But in general, I'm trying to just push short track racing and that you can do this yourself. even one guy in two cars, which sounds like a bad movie. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And until next time.